Listen only mode.
University now, where we're taking health educators in schools and teaching them the curriculum that we've learned in our health core schools. So even if you don't have one of these volunteers full time, acting as a big brother or a big sister, the gym teacher, the English teacher, someone in the school who's passionate about health can get the basic curriculum and share it. And remember, we're not just focused on losing weight, although that's part of it, nor getting in better shape, although that's part of it. We're focused on mental resilience. How do you get tough enough to get a vision for what you can do in your life and then thrive in today's increasingly complex world? And I'll announce tonight, because I'm proud of this, we have a relationship now with the NBA, National Basketball Association, where they have funded us to take some of the outreach programs of NBA teams into the local community. So we serve as their soldiers on the ground. We're reaching out to the NFL for a similar relationship. I'm optimistic that the professional sports leagues of this country can use HealthCore to get their message out more effectively than they can even do themselves. So I'm proud that we've grown, and it could never have happened without the continuous support of USANA.
Fantastic words. And, that really actually is really something that means a lot to us because, we have Team USANA, we have over 700 professional athletes who trust their health to our products, and we know how important that is. Good health, supplementation you can trust, eating right, being active. And, HealthCore, it's been a fantastic relationship. We thank you for that opportunity as well. Dr. Wentz always talks about how it's amazing how two groups could have such similar vision and align like that. So we thank you for that. And we're looking very much forward to what 2014 holds for both of us this year. But speaking of accomplishing, great things in the coming year, with over 3,000 people on the phone, these folks are eager to get started on looking at their bodies, their health, like you said, their minds. How do they really start the year off? And this is why we created this Reset Challenge. And what we were wondering is if you could give everyone out there some pointers on how to be successful as they embark on improving and focusing on a healthy lifestyle journey that could really change their lives forever.
This might be helpful for the associates, but their friends, family, and others as well. The concept of a New Year's resolution is a very ancient one. It's 2,000 years old. It happened in the Roman times. And they do work, but you got to do them the right way. Very specifically, you want to have a concrete goal, not an unrealistic goal, and you have to have very specific strategies for getting that goal. So if I say I'm going to bring peace to the world over the next few years, well, that's too vague and too big, too grandiose. But if I say I'm going to lose 10 pounds by May the 1st, and here's how I'm going to do it, by starting off, let's say, with the Reset program. I'm going to do 5 days of my fasting, and then I'm going to make it all happen. I'm going to transform my life. I'm going to be able to maintain what I've changed. All these are things that make it concrete and solid. And it turns out that of the people who make New Year's resolutions, the ones that make it concretely like this succeed tremendously. Unfortunately, only about 40% of people are really concrete, but those are the ones that succeed for the first 6 months. So be one of those 40% and spread the word. I also think you want to personalize the ideas that you're working on. We don't all like the same foods. That's why on the show I'm very careful about recommending foods that taste good, that just happen to be good for you. If you're eating foods that taste like cardboard, and thankfully USANA doesn't make any of those, I have the pleasure of tasting a lot of your products. But sometimes I get these health products that really don't taste very good, even though they are good for you. It doesn't matter. People aren't going to force themselves for any long period of time to chew on stuff that's unpalatable. So you end up losing them, and then they feel guilty and they feel worse about it. So I'd much rather you make it easy to do the right thing by picking up on tactics that work for you. I'll give you a personal example. I love nuts. Dave and Dan both know that. I always travel with nuts in my pockets, in my briefcase, and rarely without them. I enjoy the taste of them. They happen to be good for me, but that's not why I'm eating them. I eat them because I like them. And I think you should find programs that work for you. Again, part of the reason this 5-day reset gets sort of cool is that it makes it easy to do the right thing for those first few days as you sort of detoxify yourself. And once you get past 5 days of just about anything, it becomes habit. You begin to synchronize your neurons. You begin to adopt new tactics. You can't get rid of bad habits. You have to replace bad habits with different habits, which hopefully are better for you. And I love the fact that the USANA team has gone beyond those 5 days to give people strategies. So once they're through that, they can transform themselves in the right way for a long time and maintain that change.
Yeah, and I can tell you, I know one thing I know about USANA people is they are very focused and very determined. I would imagine more than 40% will hit their goals. But, one of the things is when you make that New Year's resolution, we hear a lot about, and it's kind of around this reset, is weight loss. Everybody talks about it. I've heard it on your show numerous times, and we always talk about how there's not some magic bullet. There's not something that you can do. You really have to make some small changes in your lives and ease into healthy living. How should someone start off by doing those smaller things and easing it, or should they just try to go cold turkey and go for it with everything they've got?
Different people thrive in different situations. The average human being, people like me and you, Dan, are better off leaning into the process, where you sort of nudge yourself in the right direction. And I always tell people when they ask me, how do I lose weight, the first step is to cut out the white foods, right? The white rice, white pasta, white sugars, white breads. Now, that's actually sort of hard to do, but one by one you can begin to knock off those white foods. And I just did a show on the wheat belly concept, that the wheat is a problem not just because it causes bloating and inflammation, but it actually it clouds the brain. So when you're fuzzy, you don't make the wise decisions. And it's one of the reasons that we usually recommend that you take out bread and these white products early on. It's also because they have the right, when you take out the white foods, you get rid of all foods with high glycemic index. But that's the kind of thing where you can say, you know what, I'm not going to change anything else. I'm not going to start running marathons. I'm not going to change everything I'm eating. I'm just going to make one simple change. I'm not eating white bread anymore for the next couple weeks. And people would see dramatic changes in how they feel. It just so happens they're losing weight too. But they'll feel so much better, they'll want to keep doing it.
And that's such a big one. I thought, I've been to Sonavive, Dr. Wentz's facility down in Mexico, and that was what they talked about. Pick one thing and focus in on that. And if you can do that, you can ease into others, and your body gets used to it. So I'm so bought into that, and that's a great piece. But one of the things I think we find is that like you said, what works for one person may not work for another, and I think that's very important to remember. But one of the things I know I've heard you talk about a lot as well, but I think this is what a lot of people think about, is emotional eating. How do people get out of that habit? I know when people are stressed, they eat more, they drink more, they do this, or if they're having they're excited, they eat different. How do you control emotional eating?
Well, emotional eating is driven by two factors. One is the stress around you, but also it's driven by things you put in your body that stress you. So when you eat these high glycemic foods that we were alluding to earlier, it actually makes it more difficult for you to withstand the needs of a diet, for example. So you want to be on a program which doesn't create internal stresses, and by doing that, at least you take out some of the heat. Then there are the external factors, more specifically about emotional eating. People oftentimes feel alone. They feel out of control. They feel like no one loves them. They look for love in all the wrong places. Right? They want to fill that deep, dark void they feel deep in their soul with food. And, the only thing, if you feel out of control in life, and the only thing you control is the fork at the end of your arm, that's what you use. You plow that fork into something that's not so good for you, and put it into you. So I always ask folks, if they really, really liked someone a lot, and they were eating the foods that you're eating right now, what would you tell them? Whatever you tell them, that's what you got to tell yourself. I'll never forget when I did my 100th show, and I've done more than 800 now. So this is way in the beginning when I first started doing television programs. I had Richard Simmons come on. Now, Richard Simmons has lost 100 pounds, and he's kept it off for a long time. And he's a very emotional guy. He's a great guest. And I asked him to come on, and I asked 100 people who each lost 100 pounds to join him. So it's a very emotional day for us. All these people were talking about how they managed to get the weight off and keep it off. And then we asked them all one big question. How did you do it? I expected 100 different answers, Dan. I got one answer. The same answer from every single person. Self-esteem. When I realized I was worth it, I did it. The reason programs like the ones you saw us launching this year, the Reset line are so important is because they make it easy for someone who's finally figured out that they're worth it to do it because it avoids sabotaging the physical part of the program, which makes you feel worse about yourself, sabotage your self-esteem, and you're back where you started from. You're in a very fragile time when you've dealt with the true emotional drivers of eating. You don't want the food to be your enemy. You want your food to be your ally and support you in that process.
I could see why that turned a light on for you. It certainly turned one on for me. And, one of the things I wrote down as you were saying that too is sort of a practice what you preach. If you're talking about it and you believe in it and you're telling other people, you really ought to do it yourself. And I know I'm talking to people even writing about writing things down, keeping a log can help, relieve stress, but keep you focused on your goals too. So, another statement that we hear quite a bit, which I'm sure you do too, is people want to eat healthy, but healthy food just doesn't taste good. I know that you said that there are certain foods that you enjoy. I know I've been following your show, and I know there's certain ways you can do treatments to food, the ways that you cook them. What are the things do you have to share with everybody about healthy food is good? How do you overcome that argument that it's not?
Well, a lot of times people who think that healthy food is not good for you have only eaten healthy foods that weren't prepared by people who knew how to make healthy food. I mean, if you're used to having hamburgers on a bun, I don't want you to compare that to an oil and vinegar salad dressing because it's very different. The point is not to say that it tastes the same as a hamburger on a bun. It's that it tastes good independent of that and acceptably good, frankly, for most people. So the foods that I eat, I'll give you an example. I get up in the morning, I'll have blueberries with the Greek yogurt, Fage yogurt. I love that taste. I wouldn't change that out for anything. I would never think about a donut or a pretzel or anything else. And the reason
you had that while you were here.
I do. I'm sure you guys fed me that. You guys are very hospitable. But the reason I eat that is not just because I like the taste. I mean, I really do, and I would eat it independent of anything else. But what I especially like about it is how I feel when I'm done eating it. If I had to do a show, you guys, again, you've already committed not to write about this call, but you're going to see a very provocative show in a couple of weeks. It's a big show that I just recorded where I actually got into costume as a 450-pound person. And I was walking through a mall making conversation with people who were also heavy about why they weren't doing anything about it. And particularly trying to figure out, why is it, for example, you don't go to your doctor when you're overweight? And people don't go, of course, because they don't want to get weighed. They're embarrassed about being weighed in front of their doctor. But in the course of this package we shot, I was there in the mall the whole day we had secret cameras. I had CIA people helping me, scope the place out. We had incredible technology to capture all these emotional conversations. But one thing I couldn't fake, I had to actually eat the junk food, right? I had to grab the hamburger and the fries and the big soft drink and sit next to someone who's also eating that stuff and make conversation about how I wish I wasn't eating all this bad stuff, so they talk about it too. And I was so sick at the end of that day, and it lasted for a couple days. And I haven't eaten fast food in so long. I think for most of the folks on the phone right now, you recognize that nothing feels as good as skinny. Nothing feels as good as eating a food that makes you feel sharp and clever and on your game, feeling vital and sexy. I mean, that's what you do it for. That's why you guys are working in this space, because you know how beautiful that is. And a lot of people don't recognize that. They don't connect those dots, and they spend their whole life living at 25 percentile of who they could be as a person instead of living at 100 percentile of who they could be as a person.
That is so true. And, one of the things that just kind of hit me is you take care of your body, it'll take care of you. And getting used to those foods, it's not even getting used to them. It's just eating them. They're fantastic. I know I've had some great healthy recipes, and I'm sure you've got a few we need to get a hold of. But we can always go to your Facebook page or website, I'm sure, and get those. But in addition to healthy eating, people always are talking about how it's important to drink water, tons of water. We live in high elevation here in Park City, and you've got to drink a ton of water. But can you weigh in on that? How much water do people need to be drinking to be healthy and stay properly hydrated?
Well, people always try to put a number on that. And I don't think the number is the right way to think about it. I give you a little self-test you can all do. Again, we've been talking about how you want to customize yourself. And one thing I've been very honored about Usana's approach to this is you make customized approaches so that everyone can figure out what works for them. But your water intake is similarly customizable. Everyone knows what the urine looks like. If you don't, check it. Look at the color of your urine. if you're drinking enough water, your urine should be clear enough to read through. I'm not saying you have to actually read through it, but just make sure it's clear enough that you could read through it if it had to. Then you're having enough fluids. Now remember, most of the fluids we get are not from the water we drink. It comes from the food we eat. So if the food we eat naturally has a lot of fluid in it, cucumbers, fruits, vegetables, they have lots of fruit naturally in them. That's how you get a lot of your water intake. And then add to that is needed to make sure your urine stays clear. Soda, by the way, coffee is the opposite because they have caffeine in them. So when you drink those beverages, they trick your body into urinating out fluid your body needs. So none of these rules count if you're drinking caffeinated beverages.
Yeah, I think that is probably one of the harder ones for people to do, but one of the ones I think people see the most dramatic changes is just cutting out those sodas. But not just that. One of the things that we've always talked about here at USANA is you got to eat right, supplement, and you've got to get out and exercise. You got to be active. I know you are a big fan of yoga. I know you do. I know you ski. I got to see you do that. But exercise. How much is enough? Is there such a thing as too much? Is there a minimum? What are your thoughts on exercise?
Well, it's a provocative question because you would think that more is better, but it's not the case. You want at least 30 minutes, ideally, of activity a day. The minimum is 60 minutes of sweating a week. Again, you don't start sweating as soon as you begin exercising. It takes you at least 10, 15 minutes to begin to sweat. So if you did three 30-minute exercises a week, minimum, you could probably get away with it. But I always tell people 30 minutes a day. You can walk upstairs, just do something that's a little bit more active, and you get there. If you can get to an hour, that's even better, but it's not a huge improvement. It's just a little bit better. When you get above that, the benefits are hard to discern. And when you get above 2 hours a day, it's actually 13 hours a week. When you get to 13 hours a week of activity, you actually see a decrease in life expectancy. And that's, we believe, because you build up free oxygen radicals. If you're not taking supplements especially, those acquire a toxicity in their own right. Plus you have injuries and other things that might slow you down. So I tell most folks, if you can just get your half an hour on average a day, then you're in pretty good shape. And also one other little point, make sure you interval train. Don't do the same activity every single day. Vary it up a little bit. I do yoga, and I'll play physical sport, and then I'll do a more classic workout with weightlifting. So vary it up a little bit so that you mix, but basically 1 out of 10 minutes, 10% of the time, you ought to be really exerting yourself on average.
That's fantastic, and I truly believe in that. I like the interval type thing, changing things up so that it doesn't get stale either, because you lose focus. Really, the reason we had this call was because we were setting up this reset challenge. We've got all the people on the phone that are out there, and I have to ask you, because I'm sure they're all curious, what do you do to stay fit, stay healthy? I know personally you're incredibly busy, not between the show. You're doing surgery every week. You're on calls like this. You're traveling to events. You're on the Today Show. And you look fantastic. If you can stay healthy, anyone can. But, what are some of the things that you do that you would this is your keys to staying fit?
Well, you're kind of say all those things. I think like most of us, we have a choice. We don't plan to fail, but we fail with the plan, and so everything begins to crumble around us. So I don't leave much to chance. I make very few decisions about my health. So I get up every morning, same time, 5:45. I pretty much do that no matter what time zone I'm in. I stay in the new time, and I'll just keep my old time zone. I do a little yoga exercise, which is about 7 to 10 minutes, with some calisthenics in there, like sit-ups and push-ups. And then I hop in the shower. I grab my yogurt with blueberries that I mentioned earlier, and I'm off. I'll have nuts as a snack in the middle of the morning. I stay pretty focused with people that I'm around. I don't try to, do any crazy things in the morning. I just try to make sure that what I planned happens just like that. I'm meticulous about lunch. I have it delivered because I don't want to ever be hungry. And I didn't look forward for foods either. That reason. I'll have taken my multivitamin, by the way. I take my little USANA packs, in the morning. And then throughout the day, I just live my life. I don't count calories. I don't think about it much. I usually get my bigger physical activity when I'm done my second show. We take 2 shows, so 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. After the second show, I'll do I'll get some exercise. I try not to eat anything after 8 o'clock at night. One little rule of thumb is friends of mine who are in the entertainment business or in the weightlifting and bodybuilding business say that if you can leave a 12-hour block when you don't eat anything, it lets your hormones reset themselves. So the last thing I'll do is I'll take, the evening pack of vitamins, and then I'm done. And after 8 o'clock, I'll have a tea or something, but nothing significant. And then the following morning, 7, 8 o'clock, I'll eat again. So it gives me a 11, 12-hour block of detoxifying my body every single day.
You are an inspiration. I got to tell you. If I can just ask you this last question, I know we're taking up a lot of your time this evening. There's a lot of people that, they set that New Year's resolution. They've been on this call. They're going to go for it. They're going after this Reset Challenge. How can people stay motivated when they hit a weight loss plateau? You work so hard, you get to a certain level, and you just can't go a little further. Is there something that you would suggest to people so that they stay motivated even though they hit that plateau?
Well, you do it for the people that you care about. Our lives are defined by the people in them. We have this new magazine coming out that I'm doing with Hearst called The Good Life. And I'm getting asked, why do we call it The Good Life? The good life used to mean cars and women, bars and all. That's never been the good life for most of us. For most of us, the good life is realizing that our life is defined by the people in it. And you want those people to be healthy, and you want to be a role model for them. People will hang out with healthy people, become healthier. People will hang out with unhealthy people, do the opposite. So the best advice I can give is make it a game. Enjoy it. Realize that it's not a wind sprint. It's a marathon. Even if you're plateauing now, the fact that you're already at that plateau means you're a ton healthier than you were before. And if you stay on your game and enjoy the process, eventually you'll find your playing weight. And your playing weight may not be rail thin, like you see on the magazine covers, but it's going to be the weight that your body feels very comfortable at. And as long as you're healthy, who the heck cares?
That's really it, living life to its fullest. And Dr. Oz, I want to personally thank you so much. I know you're very busy, taking your time out, helping us kick off this year right. We are absolutely looking forward to the relationship with healthcare. Very much looking forward to having you at our convention in August. And I promise we will find some way to bring you in that will be more unique than the previous. But I just want to thank you again and wish you all the best.
You're the best. Take care, my friends. Stay well.
Thank you. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us for that portion. We have much more this evening. I'm now going to turn the call over to our Vice President of the United States, Miss Lori Truman. We have more special guests, so don't hang up. Don't get off that call. This is just the start to the Reset Challenge. So, Lori, I'm going to turn the call over to you, and thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thanks, Dan, and thanks to Dr. Oz. Fantastic tips from someone who lives a very healthy lifestyle, and I know that you guys have seen him out there. Not to mention, it's pretty impressive that he continues to practice, and he has surgeries weekly. I think that's just incredible. So we're very grateful that he could take the time in his schedule to join us this evening, and grateful that each one of you are on this line to learn how to change and make some changes in your lifestyle. You have those goals that you've set, and now what we want to do is help you accomplish those goals. And so not only have we brought Dr. Oz on the line for you this evening, but we also have fit celebrity trainer, Miss Kathy Kaler. And Kathy started in fitness when she was very young. She just loved PE when she was little, but graduating from a small college in Michigan in 1985, and then continuing on from there in 1989, having an opportunity to work with Jane Fonda. And then she spent 13 years on the Today Show as their fitness expert. Then from there, she had her family, which included three beautiful gentlemen, I should say handsome, three handsome gentlemen, and she's continued her fitness and training celebrities such as Jennifer Aniston, Drew Barrymore, Jennifer Lopez, Kim Kardashian, and love being able to listen and hear just simplicity tips from Kathy Kaler. We just returned from a Caribbean cruise where she had everybody on the boat walking the stairs and walking the track and just fitting fitness in wherever you can into your lifestyle. So, Kathy, I'm going to turn the time over to you.
Can you hear me? I'm here listening.
We can hear you. Great.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, wow. Thank you so much for that introduction. And just still scribbling down all my notes as I always do when we are in the presence of Dr. Oz, who just is filled with so many and information that is so perfect for everything that we stand for at USANA and everything that we're trying to do in accomplishing healthy lifestyles, and especially for those who are on the call tonight who are embarking upon a lifestyle change. So I think all of this is just incredible. And I think one of the things that comes to mind when you start any change in your lifestyle, it's kind of focused on food and it's on movement and what we eat and how we move our bodies. And I wanted to just cover a little bit about, why exercise. And I don't know, Lori, are you going to ask a couple of questions or should I just dive in?
Why don't you dive into it and then
I'm just going to. You just tell me how long I can go.
You dive into it, and then I'll jump in and ask you a few questions.
That sounds perfect. Well, I want to start with just why exercise, and why is exercise so important? People will always say, gosh, there's two sides to the coin. There's half of it is what you eat, and half of it is how you move. And that's really been my bottom line message through my career, is really looking at those two places where we make choices day in and day out. So focusing on the exercise, I think we all know that exercise is important. And to break it apart in why it is, I always like to start with, if you've heard this expression, use it or lose it. And it's totally true in that the less we use our bodies, the more things start to happen in the negative way. You can take people who may have a lifestyle where working is sitting down a lot, and you're in an office or you commute to an office, so there's a lot of downtime. You're not able to get to the gym. What happens is we start to lose that function, that start being able to not be as efficient. And maybe some of those feelings are happening right now, and that's when you turn to starting over, to get reset going and start to incorporate exercise in. And when you do that, that's when these things start happening. You start to feel improvement in your stamina. You strengthen muscles. Things start to appear differently. There might even be a little bit of a definition in your arm, or if you turn sideways in a window, you might glance about your posture. It just appears differently. Exercise can improve and enhance our flexibility. We may not work directly with flexibility, but by getting out there and walking, you're increasing the range of motion in the different joints from your legs to your upper body. Exercise can help control on weight, and that's a big part of reset. And what I love to spend time on is how it improves the quality of your life. Especially right now, if you walk into any supermarket or turn on any news program, there will be a story about how to lose 5 pounds, 10 pounds, new year, new you. And it's always focused on the outward appearance. The power of exercise is where it improves the quality of your life. Things that you may not be looking at in how exercise can help, such as it will reduce stress. It can improve your self-esteem, like Dr. Oz was talking about, how that was a key thing to Richard Simmons' customers. Sleeping better. if you're new to USANA, you might not have heard all of the different stories that we get from Dr. Wentz. But sleeping better is something that's so important to our bodies, and exercise can help us do that. Can't say enough about how you exercise. It makes a difference in the type of day that you're going to have. So all of these things become such a building blocks to that lifestyle that we're all looking toward. A healthy lifestyle that is of fitness and being active and of making good choices in how we eat. All of these are components of that, and exercise is that bottom line. So when you kind of grasp, gosh, this is good stuff. I want this. I want to do this. How do you start? I've been a trainer for many years, and I started by teaching exercise classes. And it began way back when we wore leg warmers and we choreographed moves to music and entered in when I started working for Jane Fonda. But it's about what kind of exercise we do, and that is a stumbling block for many people. Sometimes the hardest part about getting started on an exercise program is getting out the door. So I like to break it down to the simplest thing. Walking is one of the best exercises that you can begin with. Walking is a cardiovascular exercise because you are using large muscle groups like your legs, like your glutes, the butt muscles. You're using your upper body, so you get a little bit of the movement in the chest and in your back. And you're doing in a rhythmic fashion. So in other words, it's step by step by step by step. You're doing the same motion. And what happens over a period of time, whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 7 minutes, whether it's 12 minutes, you are increasing your heart rate. You are increasing the need for more air. Your body temperature is rising, and a whole bunch of other things that I'm sure Dr. Oz could explain in terms of the internal workings of your body. The great thing about walking is that pretty much everybody can do it. And it doesn't take a lot of equipment other than a good pair of shoes. Maybe those in the little chillier locations in the country right now might need to have some extra layers. A pedometer can help. And basically there isn't a learning curve other than pulling in the belly, pushing those shoulders down, and keeping your chin parallel with the ground. It's the best way that I have found as a trainer to engage someone in a workout program. Because it's simple, it's not asking a lot, and it's something that you can enjoy doing. And there's a lot of variations with walking. You can take hills. You can take your dog. You can take a friend. You can make it long or short. You can break it up so that you do something in the morning, noon, and night, or you can do it all at once. So my thought for those of you out there listening who have that question, I know that exercise is important. I know I always need to move. How do I start? Lori was saying that I was training a lot of the folks that came on the cruise just this past fall. And I introduced a very simple workout plan that was pulling more and more folks out onto the track on that cruise ship because it was simple yet effective. It didn't ask a lot, but it certainly offered a lot. And we walked 1 mile, and we did some push-ups, and we did some sit-ups, and we held the plank. And even though it took less than 20 minutes, what that did for the setting up of your whole day in your mood and in your motivation to make better choices was incredible. And we had people that were walking at 25-minute miles, 27-minute miles, all the way down to 13-minute miles. Didn't matter where you started, because the starting point is the part that makes your beginning, and that's where you can work at on shaving those minutes off. Walking is a great exercise, and I would encourage all of you to add this in, even if you are fit and you're on the call tonight because you just want to get a little more motivation for this year to improve the quality of your life. Walking is for everyone, and it's something that you can do at any age. And as Dr. Oz was talking about Richard Simmons, Richard and I happen to be friends, and I speak to him quite often, and he has been exercising for as long as I can remember and continues to do so today. You know, Dan was talking to Dr. Oz about what he still does. There isn't an end. And so finding something that you love and that you can fit into your lifestyle is how it becomes you, how exercise becomes the definition of you. You are the person who works out. And while Richard still teaches his class and Dr. Oz is out on the ski slopes and doing his calisthenics before he takes his shower, and everyone else that we see, if you're into the Facebook and looking at what other people are doing in USANA, you will see that exercise becomes a big part of it. One of our, biggest, persons in USANA, you'll see that they are working out. It's a part of it. It goes hand in hand. So that is my encouragement for you during the beginning of this challenge. And I know we're on day 3 of our first week, and it may seem a little difficult to exercise to your full capacity or to incorporate exercise at this point of the journey. But, we've got 12 weeks, and there is tremendous amount of time to really reach these goals. And I'm sure everyone will have their own individual goals. I met all of the people from last year who were in the Reset Challenge, who were just extraordinary people. And I remember each and every one and their stories of how and why they started the challenge and what their exercise goals were. And so each one of your goals will be individual. And what I like to say about goal setting is to make it something that is doable, that you think you are going to be able to reach, that it is not an overstretch. Kind of how Dr. Oz was saying, we're not going to get out there and break world records. And I like to add in, you're not going to run a marathon in a week. You want to start simple. And that way you can reach that goal. And sometimes it's making smaller goals as you reach that large goal. So setting up something each week. And it may be just by making a list. I've always talked about lists. They work incredibly well. I think there's something actually about people in general that we get a pleasure, a sense of accomplishment when we get to check off something that we've done. If you keep a list on your computer, maybe you have a little sticky note on there, and there's a pleasure, a joy when you can say, oh gosh, that's done, I can delete that. You may find that setting up simple goals in exercise on a weekly basis or daily basis can help you achieve those goals. So, for example, you could put on a daily list your 1 mile walk, a minute of push-ups, or maybe it's just 10 push-ups. Maybe you can't do more than 2 push-ups. Maybe you can just hold the push-up position. That's okay. That's where you start. And you put that down on the list, and then you add another, take 2 flights of stairs somewhere. Maybe it's in your house. Maybe it's at the office. Maybe it's at the airport. I'm going to carry something. Maybe it's the groceries. Maybe you're going to move your furniture around. Maybe you have a pair of dumbbells that's sitting at your desk. Maybe you're going to lift those. And you have this little daily list of physical activity. That becomes a goal. That becomes a goal to get that done that day. And then you have another day. You can imagine what you might be able to accomplish in these 12 weeks by setting daily goals. It keeps it from becoming too complicated, overwhelming. I spoke to somebody the other day who is, in my opinion, as a trainer, I didn't think she was ready to do the reset, but she was ready to do a NutriMeal meal replacement every morning and walk 1 mile. Sometimes it's important to look at what is realistic for you and finding that in your lifestyle so that you can succeed. So simplicity is the key. This is also something, I know we're in the challenge, and it's 12 weeks, and we all have the program in front of us laid out, and how we've got our jumpstart phase, and we've got transform, and we've got maintain, and the plan is there for us. But this is really also about setting up the groundwork, the support system, the foundation of your lifestyle, of the new way you will approach life, of the new way that you will now choose in how you eat and how you move. And that will continue to go on after the challenge. And I'm going to even hope that we've got people from last year's challenge on the phone tonight, because that's what this is. This is ongoing. As Dr. Oz still makes that yogurt and blueberry choice in the morning, and how I make my NutriMeal shake in the morning, and at some point during that day, I am using my muscles in some way. That's our life. And that's going to be your life.
Well, Kathy, your information, I'm seeing lots of different comments on Facebook, but your information is so simple. And I want to thank you for joining us and sharing with us the simplicity of adding, the shakes into your lifestyle, or, going out and walking a mile, and making it something that is so simple that starts to create this daily habit in your life and making this transition in your lifestyle. And just watching those individuals on the cruise with you, and I've watched teams now take this back, and they're now going out on Saturday mornings as a team and walking together, or I'm seeing pictures of individuals now running because of what they learned from you on the cruise. And so those lifelong simple habits, and making it simple and making it fun. So thank you so much for joining us and sharing this information with us.
Thank you so much, and I'm so excited to meet everybody that is doing the challenge this year, and staying connected. And again, I am like your personal trainer. And so we are here to help and to motivate and to encourage. And it's a journey for all of us. And so I think it's awesome that we've had this opportunity to have this call with the extraordinary Dr. Oz, and also to be able to send more messages about how improving the quality of your life is just so key. And so good luck, everybody, and I can't wait to see you all.
Thanks so much, Kathy. How great that you have a personal trainer that trains the stars like Julia Roberts and Kim Kardashian and Jennifer Lopez, and she is going to be your personal trainer for the next 90 days. You're going to see Kathy throughout this challenge. You're going to see fitness tips from Kathy. You're going to see fitness videos from Kathy. And you're also going to be able to then experience and sit down with Kathy as one of our winners down at Sonovive. So as she was talking about, she's hoping people are on from last year. Last year, our challenge, we had over almost 18,000 pounds lost in the challenge. And I have a feeling that we're going to have more pounds lost this year. So I'm challenging each one of you on the line tonight to look at that number. 18,000 pounds were lost last year. And I think that each one of you on this phone line can lose more this year. And so, Kathy, we're going to show you what this is about, and you're going to be able to meet a lot of these new winners. So this is fantastic. Well, let's talk about this. Anyone can participate. Anyone can participate in this challenge. So maybe you're on the phone line right now and you're thinking, well, I really wish so-and-so was on the line. Well, anyone can participate, and signing up is easy. So how do you participate? You're going to opt in and upload a photo anytime between now and March 30th and record your starting weight. So opt in, upload a photo anytime between now and March 30th. So let's say you're down, you're going to start losing weight, you're going to exercise, you're going to start feeling good, and your friends are going to say, what are you doing? And you can tell them, I've been doing this reset transformation. I've been changing my lifestyle. They can still opt in, and they can join you on this challenge. So we want to make sure that as you're continuing, you can help others with your friends and your family in joining this challenge and partnering up, as Kathy talked about. Find that buddy system, find that person that you can partner up with and will hold you accountable. Then starting January 6th, you have about 12 weeks to reset and log in weekly to track your success. So make sure that you're going in and you're logging in weekly. So you're going to go into, I'm going to tell you where the website is. You want to go into resetdestination.com, www.resetdestination.com. And on there, you'll scroll down, and it's going to give you a link in order to opt in. Now, if you're a guest to the call, you definitely want to get back with the person who invited you to this call tonight, and they can help you get opted in for this challenge. But you want to go on to resetdestination.com. This is going to be somewhere where you're going to be able to find out information. You're going to be able to log in and track your success each week. And then also, I want to encourage you to follow us on Facebook. You can find the Reset page on Facebook as well, and there's going to be lots of great tips on there as well. So there's many ways to win big. We're going to be recognizing the percentage of weight loss from the top male, female, and partners, as well as the total pounds lost and success. We want you to share your stories and testimonials of your experience during this challenge. And we realize not everybody is in this challenge to lose weight. Some are in this to change their body, to transform their body. And so we want to be able to hear from you as well in what this has done for you, what this process has done for you. So make sure that you can write in your testimonial and share that with us. The top 3 people in each category will win the grand prize. So very simply put, male, female, and partners, percentage of weight loss, total pounds lost, and then we want to hear your stories. and then the top 3 will win. So what are you going to win? The grand prize is a one-of-a-kind 4-day health and spa retreat trip to Sonneville. I will tell you right now, I just returned from Sonneville the second week in December. And Sonneville, I would describe, is a little piece of heaven. It is right on the ocean, the Pacific Ocean, beautiful location. Every suite has a view of the ocean, and I left my room open at night, and I would listen to those ocean waves just roll in. It is a beautiful location for each one of you to make sure that you're there. Best part about it is you're going to be able to find things out about your health. You're going to be able to meet Kathy. You're going to be able to hear from nutritionists and totally make a lifestyle change. Also, as part of the grand prize, we have $500 in U.S. airfare vouchers, $150 shopping spree because you're going to need to go shopping. What's not better when you're losing weight? Shopping. So you're going to be able to go out and you're going to be able to go on a shopping spree, and we're going to have individuals there that are going to give you a makeover. And then you'll be able to be featured in some of our magazines and some of our different tools that we have and talking about this weight loss. But I will tell you that it's a great experience, and you get to experience with friends and family, and you become so close to those other individuals that are there, not to mention the opportunity to be there and meet Kathy and the rest of our team. So experience Sonneville, spend 4 nights in an oceanfront balcony suite. They have heated saltwater pools. They have spa treatments. I will tell you, it's the best spa treatment I have ever had. And then personalized nutrition programs, personalized mental consultations. They have the coolest consultations down there where they take your blood and they put it up on the screen and you get to see your cells. It was the most amazing test that I sat there and I watched my blood cells and where they're healthy and where they're oxidized. And it's incredible, the testing that they do down there. So, as I said, Sonneville is a little piece of heaven. And so it is something that I would put up there. And every single morning, I would get this picture and I would put this up on your mirror. So every single morning, even on those tough days when you do not want to get out of bed and go walk that mile or 2 miles, you are totally motivated because you are looking at this place of where you want to be. So I want to encourage each one of you, download a picture, put it up on your mirror so that you see that every single morning as you're getting ready. We'll also have milestone prizes to track your progress, and you could be entered to win in random giveaways throughout this experience. So we're going to be recognizing those individuals that are hitting their milestones and hitting the 50-pound mark and continuing to lose weight. We want to encourage you as you are continuing on your weight loss journey and on your transformation. So what you need to do is you want to get with the person who invited you to the call. And you want to make sure that as you in the Reset destination, it's going to take you to USANA today, and you're going to opt in there, and then you're going to track each week. And as you're looking, you're going to want to make sure that you are using those NutriMeals. As Kathy talked about, we have a great line of food for you to be able to come in. We've got a reset to get you going and a jump start, and I know many individuals are on there 3 days. So they're on their 3rd day of the 5-day reset. This reset pack is going to give you 15 NutriMeals, so it's 15 shakes for the week. We have great flavors of chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. You're also going to get snacks to go along with this, and the snacks are fantastic. There are 5 Fudge Delights, 3 Peanutty Bliss, and 2 Choco Chips, as well as health packs as supplements. As Dr. Oz is talking about taking your supplements, these are included in this reset pack. So this makes it very simple for you to be able to take this. They are AM and PM, so you take one in the morning, and then you can take one in the afternoon as well. Probably right after lunch is typically when I take mine, and it just gives you that boost for the rest of the afternoon. We also have a program guide, and we have a Reset Nation bracelet to just remind you as you're doing this. You know, it's a nice little reminder. You've got journals, but you've also got this bracelet that's continuing to keep you going. And don't forget about that picture of Sonovy that you want to post it. That's going to remind you of what you're going to win when you take over this challenge. So you need to, as you're looking at this, we also have right now other NutriMeal flavors. We have a chocolate whey. We have a NutriMeal Free, which is a vanilla base. And then we also have right now specialty flavors, which are our cappuccino, which is my favorite, and orange cream. Both are available on USANA, and make sure that you talk to the person who invited, and they can get you set up and get you going for this destination transformation. So ways to succeed. Visit resetdestination.com. Visit this regularly. You're going to find on there recipes. As we mentioned, Kathy's going to be your personal trainer, so you're going to hear about fitness tips, motivational stories, and contest standings. So resetdestination.com is your vehicle to find out everything that you need to know about this challenge. So make sure that as you are looking and you're wanting to know where you stand, you're going to continue to see those contest standings coming on there. Then you can also learn more about personalizing your health needs. And that is going to www.truehealthassessment.com. I would encourage, if you have not done that, to definitely go on the True Health Assessment and take the True Health Assessment. It's going to help you personalize more of your lifestyle, especially when it comes to supplements and what you may be missing and what you may be needing in your diet. So I want to encourage you to go to both of these locations. Make sure you bookmark resetdestination.com and go there regularly. They do some great recipes to help you as you're getting flavor fatigue or going on this challenge and you're looking for something. This is a great opportunity. But as you're looking for tools for success, part of this challenge is we want to be there. We're going to be your support throughout this entire challenge. We want to make sure that we're giving you the latest and greatest, that we're helping you throughout. Make sure you're connecting with each other. Make sure you're talking to one another. Best way to do that is through social media. So go on Facebook, and we want you to be using the hashtag ResetNation. And if you go to facebook.com/ResetUSANA, you're going to be able to keep in touch with all of those that are on this line and that are going through this transformation with you. They're going through these challenges with you. Keep each other accountable and help each other in this destination transformation. We are so excited to be able to support you on all of this. And Jessica Reimer in our marketing department, as well as Elise Curtis, has done a fantastic job. And they're going to be here all along the way supporting you with new materials. So I want to thank them for all of their hard work and thank all of you for joining us. You will also be able to go on the YouTube channel, and there will be videos to help you share the message of great health and be able to learn more about Reset and what it can do for you. So if you're already a USANA associate or preferred customer, go to USANAtoday.com to get all the details and how to opt in. And then you want to sign up. So make sure that you get in touch with whoever invited you to the call tonight. And then that's how you're going to get going on this Reset Challenge. So as Dan spoke about, we've got people all over the world on this call with us this evening. And some of our friends are from down under. And so I want to introduce our Vice President of our Pacific region, David Mullen.
Thanks, Laurie. How are you doing?
Great. And you?
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. I'll just a minute. I just wanted to say thanks for including us again this year. Of course, last year, the winner of the overall winner across the world was one of someone from Australia, Jerome Amorising, and he lost an incredible 40 kilos. And so, for those of you in the US and Canada, of course, that's about 88 pounds. So it was the greatest weight loss in the competition. And he's also kept that off. So really great result. We're happy to be part of it. Just very quickly, there's 2 winners that are going to be from Australia and 1 from New Zealand. And we've added some extra funding to the travel element as well. It costs a little bit more to get from our part of the world just about to anywhere else in the world. But one of the things that really stood out for us last year, and I know that Reset is such a big program in Australia and New Zealand, as it is across the world of USANA, but we've always encouraged and found that buddying up with someone, a buddy system, is really great. And we do that in the office with the staff because we're all avid Reset people, and so we all buddy up and encourage each other to help get through those plateaus that Dr. Oz was talking about, and so we found that to be a really good thing to help with. But we're delighted to be part of the program. Make sure you go to USANA today to have a look at all of the details, and usana.com about all of the challenge details, and look forward to seeing you over at Santa Vive, the winners over in Santa Vive, and working with you over the weeks ahead over the Reset Challenge. Thanks, Laurie.
Thanks, David, and thank you to all of our friends down under. We're excited that they're going to be joining us again for this Reset Challenge. As he mentioned, we've seen a lot of lifestyles change because of Reset. I work with a lot of different individuals that have been and had great results from these products, and I've watched their life change because of this product. I've watched individuals such as Chris Garza down in Texas, that has just wanted to be able to run around with his little boy, and he's lost over 160 pounds just from lifestyle changes that he has continued to create, and incorporating both the Nutri-Meals and the shakes and the snacks into his lifestyle. So there are so many great stories out there, and when you need those great stories, go to the social media. You're going to be able to find them. You're going to be able to see the winners from last year walk across stage by going to YouTube. There's a great Reset video from last year. So you'll be able to see them walk across and see what results they've received. And they've continued on their journey. So I want to encourage each one of you that as you are getting off this line tonight, to buddy up. Find somebody that may or may not be on the call tonight and have them join you, whether that be your spouse, whether that be your best friend, whether that be a son or daughter or brother or sister or whoever that is in your life. Find somebody that's going to help you, hold you accountable, and that you can buddy up with, and that you can start making the little lifestyle changes that is going to take you to the next level. I want to thank each one of you for taking the time to join us this evening. I hope this call was well worth it. What great tips that we've received from Dr. Oz, and we just want to thank him for his time and for sharing with us his great tips and what he does each day. I also want to thank Kathy Kaler for just showing us the simplicity of adding exercise into your daily life and how simple that can be just by getting out and walking a mile, regardless of, if that's taking you 13 minutes or 25 minutes. Find a friend, go have a good time, sit and chat, put some music in, whatever it takes to then get you up and get you going. And then also, besides that exercise and adding those Nutri-Meals, make sure that you've got that Sauna Vive picture plastered up on your mirror so that you know where you're going to be come the end of this challenge. So I want to just remind everybody as we end this call this evening to get back with the person who invited you this evening and take time and go to resetdestination.com. And if you go down, you're going to be able to opt in. So we want to encourage each one of you to go on there. And I wish you nothing but the best in this challenge. We're going to have some great conference calls to support you in helping you understand the products and fitness. But keep in touch with us. We want to hear how things are going for you. So thank you, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and good luck on the challenge. Thanks, everyone.
The organizer has ended the session, and this call will be disconnected.